Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Commander Cody from Star Wars. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Let's see, what can we do here? Action pose, right? Action pose, singing my Star Wars. Action pose, singing my Star Wars. Action pose. Okay, no more action pose. I think that's enough of that, right? Okay, so I tell you guys this a lot, and I wasn't doing it myself. I was starting with going out there, but stick figure first. Stick figure, figure out where you're going to be, and then you can flesh it out or troop it up. So stick figure first, and then we'll troop it up. That's what I'm going for. Okay, let's see. I think that looks about right. And that's why I stress that you need to learn your poses, learn your anatomy, because you can place them in any position you want once you know your anatomy, once you know what's supposed to go where, you know? I think that looks about right. So, I'm going to start to troop it up. Add the armor. And I think I'm going for like the big guns this time. So, and normally, okay, I have to explain myself too, and I'm going to explain it here because no one ever watches this part, so I'm basically talking to myself, but I'm going to explain it. Normally I don't draw guns. I don't like to promote violence, and you can learn how to draw guns on another channel, you know, so you go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You got to learn everything, right? But yeah, I'm not too worried about that. You can find a place to do that. So normally I don't, but this is a laser gun, you know? So there's a part of me that's like, well, that's not real, you know? So it's as if I was drawing a dragon, you know? It's like, well, that's not real. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, so that's why I have no problem with drawing laser pistols as opposed to real guns. Okay. Alright, so this is pretty much just drawing some armor. Then I gotta draw in the little swoopy swoops. And that's pretty good. That's not too bad there. But I feel like it's short. Why is it short? Because I don't know, it just feels short there for some reason. I think it's because that leg is too short. That's what it is. It's good to be able to lean back and look at your picture. Actually, it's better to reverse it or look in the mirror, but I can't do that because my picture is taped down, so I can't really pick it up. There we go. So I think that's just what it needed. For me, it needed to be out, extended a little bit more to lengthen it. I just had too small of a foot, or not foot, but leg. There we go. That'll work. That'll work. And yeah. So anyway, so I'm going for more of an action pose with the big guns. And we'll see where it takes us. Okay, so I'm gonna have this one here. That's also the other nice thing about it is it's armor, so we're drawing a lot of piping, you know, a lot of padded armor. Yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to find a different word. We're drawing a lot of just hard shell armor. Let's see. So how about... Yeah, okay, just want to make sure there's no other special thing I need to worry about here. So I'm trying to get at least as much as I can accurate for the armor, I guess. Yeah, I keep trying to find a better word than armor, but no, accurate for the armor, because all these troopers have different, you know, accoutrement, different parts and pieces. So I just want to make sure that it looks enough like Cody, so you can tell that it's him. Okay, that looks good there. So same thing, I need to draw some detail into his parts over here. Let's see, okay, so his hand is like this. And this is a good exercise too, to practice showing you that when you draw hands, you're not drawing a closed fist, you're wrapped around a handle. This is a drill, in case anybody's ever wondering. Just you're wrapped around a handle, so it's not touching, and you got to leave room for what you're actually holding. So just getting a good practice of getting your fingers out there to show that it's on something, you know? There, I don't know why I'm focusing so much on that gun handle. Let's just try to do this. That'll give me something to kind of go by. And I'm going to make it up. I'm not going to try to 100% make it look like his actual pistol. I mean, I'm going to try to get it close, but, you know, for the most part, it's just a laser pistol, and I don't have to do it 100% like it is, because you know what? This is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. There we go. I think that'll work. So let me just get a face down real fast. Let me try to find... Let's see. So the other thing that you got to think about when you do stuff like troopers and anybody with a helmet, basically, is can a human head fit inside there? That's really what you want to go for when you're coming up with a good size, because a lot of times, you know, we want to draw what we see, and you got to kind of think of like, yeah, but will a head fit inside there? So it's always kind of best to figure out your head and then draw over it, you know? Let me see, I gotta try to capture what looks good about his helmet here. What stands out. Besides the visor. I mean, obviously the visor is the biggest selling point. But like his eyes, I need to get that line in there like that. And the visor is that's Commander Cody. You know Commander Cody by that visor. And then the extra parts. So then I just got to add a little bit of extra, and then try to make it look smooth. That's not too bad. I can make that work. yeah. Okay, so let me add just a little, and obviously his color is going to define him as well, but I'm not worried about that. I'm going to do that with color. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go to Sharpie. I'm going to erase some of these lines so I have a guide, but not pencil lines, because I want my Sharpie to stand out. If you're working with pencil, you just keep going. You start drawing darker. Me, I want my Sharpie to stand out, so I gotta erase some of this, but leave myself enough of a guide to guide my Sharpies. I'm trying to come up with better words, but I'm not a word person, so I keep stopping thinking, what's a better word than guide? Well, guide's a good word. Stick with that. I'm just trying not to repeat myself is what it comes down to. All right. Okay, so I think that's enough. I'm going to welcome everybody that skipped. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be working with the Sharpie fine point and the Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but depends a little finer than the fine point. Can find the things that a fine point can't quite find. So I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the light lines, and what's left is a small little faint thin guideline to keep me drawing the details. So speaking of details, I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point because I can control the line widths a little bit better, and then I'll switch over to the Sharpie fine point. I'm sorry, Sharpie pen, then to the fine point because I can control line widths better with this. So I'm going to start off with the eyes since I know through my sketch where it's going to be. I'm just going to start off with a point right there. We'll say that's the middle, and I'm going to build out. And all that's going to be colored in black, so I'm not too worried about it. This will guide me to the edges, and then I can draw the visor. And also, what I like to do too is draw my eyes first to make sure I've got them parallel and whatnot. So that's kind of why I'm going with that portion first, and then I can draw my visor around it. And that'll, like I said, that'll guide me as to where I'm going to be if I've got it in the right spot. Versus where his head is. Okay, and you know what? There's a line going through for his eyes. I don't know if I want to worry about that. I mean, I want to draw the edge like this, but I kind of want to leave that for color. So maybe I should. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and draw the visor, and then we'll come back to that. We'll see how we feel. Okay, so now I can bring that up right there. Then I can draw the inside of the visor, the edge like this. And I'm going to go ahead and work on the outer edge of that visor. Sorry, I'm going to get this under my hand so I don't wrinkle the paper too. My hand's a little sweaty today. It happens. Like that. And let's see, I'm going to go over like this to the ear. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw that earpiece. Again, to have myself some start-stop points so I know where I am and where I can draw to. So that's really what the thing is about start-stop points. It gives me a place to start and stop. Again, no reason to try to make a better word out of it. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Let's draw a little antenna sticking up too. Now if you touch your lines and don't make it hollow like this, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Not worried about it. Mine came out okay, so I'm not going to complain. But it's no big deal if yours doesn't come out perfect. You know, it's just how we're drawing. So let's finish up the visor, and I can build off of that. So I know the outer edge is going to be up like this, and I'm going to start to thicken up my outer edges because when I switch over to this Sharpie, it's a lot bigger. It's huge. So I'm going to kind of match what it's about to look like. That's what I was going for there. Okay, so again, just kind of working on the visor here, like this. And let's see, I'll go ahead and connect it right there. There is another level like this. I don't want to draw all the details in it. I mean, I do want to, but I kind of want color to take care of a lot of it. But I did want to give you some defined edge right there to kind of help you with that, again, defining edge of Cody. That mask is very, very, you know, pronounced. So it defines him, you know. That's how you know who Cody is. And that's how a lot of the characters are. And so I was talking about this in the sketch, that I wanted to make sure I got all the details right, because they're troopers, and the way they designed them as well, you know, each one has something a little bit different, and that's what makes them unique. Okay, and I'll give them kind of a little bit of a ridge here while I'm thickening it up, like I said, just to give it some again, definition. I'm trying to come up with a better word, but there's not. Definition. That's a really good word. Okay, let's go ahead and put in the eyes and see if I can get just a line going across. Okay, so I'm going to draw the top line across like that. Come down for the bottom one like this. And there we go. I'm going to color that in later with black, so I'm not worried about it now. Just wanted to put that in there for that. Okay, so for the mouth, we're going to come down like this to the respirator part, like this, and I'm going to draw that old frowny mouth. And this one obviously goes around like that. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to define the major parts of it, and then I'm going to come back and add some detail. Because like I said, I need to make the parts that stand out, stand out. All right. A little big, maybe a little bigger than it should have been, but that's okay. Because no one's going to sit there and say, hey, you know what, that came out too big. And if they do, no big deal. Good for you. Thanks for noticing. Alright, so now I'm going to finish up the rest of his neck to his old bobby hair. Looks like an old bob haircut. Like that. And then continue these lines down. I wanted to wait to get in here first. Like that. Okay, and all this detail in here, I'll go ahead and do that line like that, but all that detail I'll do with color. The blue lines and all that stuff, and that'll make all that defined. So, I say that's good enough for the head for this part. So now I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie for the rest of his armor. And so, I have his hands kind of out in a fighting pose, holding two laser pistols out, one to each end. So I'm going to define this edge since that's there in the front, and then I'll build out this arm and then work that way. So his armor is coming out like this, and then it's that little stair step, you know, look to it. And then it's going to come down and come in. And I'm going to go ahead and draw this edge to show you where we are, like that, and then down to the belt. Okay, so same thing down to the belt, and we'll stop there. I'll go ahead and do the whole thing. Let's finish it up. Let's go ahead and bring it up over here. That's where the arm's going to be, so I'm going to draw the round part of that. Then it's going to connect here, come under for the neck, and connect right there. Okay, so since we're finishing that up, let's go ahead and just draw a few little defining parts. I want color to take care of a lot of this, but like I said, the breastplate is very defined with these edges. Okay, then we'll do like this. Again, I don't want to do too much. I just want to subtly add it, and then color will take care of the rest of that. So, okay. Oh, you know what? Let's draw his little patch here. His little insignia, and then continue. So I've got his arm over here, and I talked about this in the sketch. It's a lot of armor, so we're just drawing hard edges is all we're really doing. So there's the edge of his arm. It's coming in like this. This one's coming in and cutting off because it doesn't go all the way up. It's just, you know, around like the bicep part. and then his shoulder, and he's got a shoulder pad on. So we're going to go ahead and draw his shoulder pad up because he's got his arm raised, so that means the shoulder pad is bumped up a little bit. And that's all you can see there. And so he's going to have his little like elbow cuffs. And that's kind of the nice thing about a lot of this armor is we just do that, then connect where a shirt is, you know. And then we're going to draw the next ringlet, the next part of his armor. And there are like layers and stuff. I'm not going to do all of them because we don't have time to draw every single detail, but some of them do need to stand out like that. Okay, so let's draw this arm piece here. It's going to go up to his wrist right there. It's going to come down over here. We'll go and do this one too. Again, it doesn't connect all the way because it's armor, but we can connect the material or his shirt underneath it afterwards. All right, so he's holding a big gun out this way, and so I'm going to draw his hand, basically his hand out like this. I already sketched it out in this position. And so I'm going to draw his thumb to his hand like that. And then there's the handle of the pistol. And his fingers out here. These fingers are wrapped around, and I'm not going to draw the detail yet. I'm going to just draw loops, basically, and then come back with this small Sharpie to add a little extra detail. Because sometimes these Sharpies are a little too big for fine detail. Alright, so, oops, I forgot to close off the hand there. Let's do that real fast. Now this is going to be covered with black, you know, because it's all his glove, so we don't have to worry too much about details or lines, because they're going to disappear with the color anyway. So for his gun, I talked about this, that I'm just kind of making it up, but I'm basing it on his big, you know, long pistol that he's got. I'm trying to find a good picture of it, but I'm not drawing all the details. We don't need all of them, just enough, you know. So I don't think I'm going to use a straight edge either. I think I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's just let's see. Just draw some squares and there's some big rectangles that show he's holding a big laser pistol. And then just kind of build off this, you know. And this handle is going way back like this, so it'll fit in his armpit, but he's holding the whole thing up, so it's not really hanging down, is it? It's just built up. Alright, so let me see if I can at least get it straight across. I'll try at least to do that. Oops, and I didn't do that. It already stretched out a little bit, so let me see if I can kind of straighten it up. That's alright. It a little bit more bulbous here than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to add to pieces like this. You know, just adding whatever I want because it's my laser pistol. You know, I'm the one who's making it up. Because what's my motto? This is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Alright. Let's see. And I'll add some detail with the smaller one real fast, just to clean it up, and just to add a little bit of extra science is what I always like to call it. You know, space parts. You know, just to add that little extra tech built rifling to it. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not going to add all this detail, but I wanted to do a little bit of extra. Just also to kind of make it space. There we go. All right. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm going to do the same thing with his other arm kind of sticking out. So he's kind of shooting both ways, like he's a lone gun out there surviving. All right, so here's this. Ooh, I almost drew over it. He has a little extra piece here. I almost drew over that. So let me add a little antenna coming off. Something like that. Okay. Oops, I lost my picture. Sorry, give me a second. No, that won't work. That won't work. The thing is, too, is I don't have a picture of him in this position. I'm just kind of making it up. Okay, so same thing. We're just going to draw the armor, and then his arm is inside. Let's see. So same thing. We're going to do a little elbow piece. Like that. Draw the arm inside. Armor. Like that. Oops. Draw the arm that's inside that. Let me come back and add just a little extra, fun detail. Just to make it different, There we go. All right. So, same thing. I'm going to draw just, laser gun out this way. His hand holding it. So we're going to do just like we did there. I'm going to draw the thumb under like this. The handle's down. Again, the fingers out like that. These digits are wrapped around it. And something to think about too, I talked about this in the sketch. Whenever you draw holding a gun, you remember your hand's not closed like this. You're wrapped around something, so make sure these fingers are floating out over a handle. And it's always going to look like a real gun or a real grip on something if you make sure those fingers are out over something. It's practice is all it really is. Just keep practicing and keep practicing. Oops, I drew through the finger there. It's okay. Alright, so same thing. I'm just going to make it up with, gun parts. With extra detail. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Like I said, I did it before. I'm going to do it on this one too. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it's not right. Alright, and he's got that extra little piece that comes out. And there's a double piece on that. Okay. Again, let me add a little extra detail here. And we'll come back and finish everything up. Not much more is left. We gotta just draw the legs basically. But it's nice to draw a little bit extra stuff just to make it come alive, just to bring it into a reality. And again, I'm just kind of making this up, so don't feel like you got to draw every single thing I'm drawing. I'm just kind of making up what are space parts. What would it look like if it was manufactured out by Space Space Gun Limited LLC? They design for the future of destruction. All right, that ought to work. Let me add a little extra. Again, I talked about this in the other one that all that's going to be covered up with color anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. So, all right, let's move on to his belt here. Find one with good detail. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to draw his belt. And let's just start drawing boxes, because that's really what his belt is. A lot of compartments and rectangles. That's where they keep their rectangular fruit roll-ups and snacks for when they're out on the go. Okay. All right. Let me add just a little bit of extra detail. What else can we add? And one on his inside here. Like that. Okay. And then again, the rest is just armor. That's all it really is. So we're going to draw his crotch piece like this. Alright, and so now I can draw like we did before, armor floating out, and then his legs are going to, you know, connect inside. Like this. Okay, and then knee pads. And again, I'm going to come back and add some extra detail in a second. I just wanted to go ahead and draw the armor first, because that's the main part, right? Okay, and it's pretty basic, pretty easy, because it's just like I said, just armor plating around a body shape, and then we're going to add detail in a second. Alright, so same thing, I'm going to do the top of this armor piece coming down here to the knee pad. This one's coming down through here like that. Then I'm going to draw the knee pad in, little rectangle, huh? So, what kind of shape is that? You tell me. Trapezoid, tetrahedron. Okay. And then again, that little piece around his ankle there, and then his shoe, just pointed right at you. And then again, I'm going to come back with detail with this Sharpie. Okay. And I'm not going to add too much. Because color and armor, color and wear and tear is going to really make this one stand out. So we're going to add, you know, all the wear to it to, you know, beef it up, destroy it, make it look like it's been used in battle and worn. You know, that'll really make it stand out. Plus, like I said, it's armor, so a lot of it is just a hard edge. There's not much we can really do. We can add some shoe parts, though. Just to make it, you know, a shoe. Okay, so there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Commander Cody from Star Wars. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.